Good morning, everyone. Thank you very much for joining me. It is Monday, July 14th, 2025. Early this morning, there in Spain, or actually in the Mediterranean, there was a magnitude, depends on who you want to listen to, a 5.5 or a 5.4. USGS said it was a 5.2. It struck near the coast of San Jose, a village in Parque Natural de Cabral de Gata. Yeah, say that 10 times real fast. They're considering it significant for its moderate strength and its proximity to popular resort areas. The earthquake occurred at 7:13 a.m. local time, and there was some moderate damage reported. One for the airport where the ceiling tiles came down, and one for a Toyota dealership where also its ceiling came down. This earthquake was about 10 kilometers in depth, or about 6 miles. Shallow quakes like this are felt more strongly across a wider area. There was no injuries reported. The people at the airport said, yeah, thank God for that. Here we have one video that I found so far showing lights swaying in two different rooms. It looks like we got this one, and then in the hallway going towards the bathroom, it looks like. That was in Almeria, and here's the showroom for the Toyota dealership. You can see they're up there on a lift fixing the ceiling. Let me bring this down a little bit, because as the video goes on, you can see the cars down below. Well, it was so fast I had to pause it, but you can see two here, and then that's probably the manager's office there. Here's the felt reports that were sent into USGS, mostly along the coastline. It looks like the strongest Liberian intensity level 5. Yeah, they got damaged. 64 kilometers. So that would be 39 miles, almost 40 miles from where the quake occurred. A little bit closer. That's where I showed you Almeria, where the lights were swaying, and the images of the Toyota dealership. 5 reports there, intensity level 5, which means it felt like maybe a 3.5. Felt by most people. Some breakage of dishes, windows would have been broken, plaster, disturbance of tall objects. Yeah, well, we got the ceiling tiles that came down in both of those places. The farthest report to the northeast, 279 kilometers. So that would be about 173 miles. Benefido, I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. There's been at least 13 aftershocks recorded after this earthquake. What's interesting too, emergency services received 112 phone calls. And this earthquake more than likely was caused because of the subduction of the African plate underneath the Eurasian plate. There is one fault zone within this location, Carbonones fault zone. I got it drawn out in red there for you. And in 2016, there was a magnitude 6.3 quake in that location, but I don't have it on here. There in Spain, they experience about 8,900 earthquakes every year. Recently, they've been going through a lot of rain and flash flooding. Yeah, been a lot of destruction lately. And according to scientists, they get a magnitude 5 or greater earthquake, roughly maybe one every a year and a half. And this earthquake was actually the largest they've had so far this year. Yeah, there's San Jose right there. So here we have another image of that dealership and the tiles that had come down. But the images we seen, yeah, they had a lot more of it removed. They probably got, the supports that were bent that had to be replaced. And here we have an image of the airport where the ceiling tiles came down. Let me bring this over a little bit. And another image. I don't know what this brown thing is. I don't know. Yeah, but you can, looks like lights that came down and different parts of the ceiling. I guess they were on coffee break at the time. A lot of people. You can see we got vending machines back over here. And they were saying how they were so grateful that no one was hurt. Here's some of the reports that were sent into EMSE. It says they were in bed and felt the house shaking. In particular, I felt as if a very heavy object were dragged on the roof of the house. And then I understood and got up. This one said about 10 seconds, was very long. Another one says our first one, the whole house shook. Another one, the bed was moved perfectly, and the dresser had moved too. Okay, the whole house shook for about 4 seconds. Another one, I'm going to have to get the translation. We live in a townhouse, and we're woken up while trying to bed on the second floor. The tremor intensified after a few seconds and lasted for perhaps 4 to 5 seconds. And it felt eternal. Yeah, when you're scared, it can be very upsetting. The whole house shook and there was no damage. Okay, that's good. Another one woke them up. Yeah, people went to bed early, I guess. It has been brutal. Felt very strong. It has been long and powerful. Objects have been broken. Yeah, things fell out of cupboards and off shelves and maybe off walls. Sending prayers to you guys. You've been just hit with all kinds of devastation lately. It has been very strong. Crystals and mirrors have vibrated. Small objects have fallen from shelves. More breakage. House shaking sideways for a couple of minutes. Another one said all the ceramic roof tiles were rattling. Windows and grills rattling. The bed started to shake, followed by the characteristic noise of an earthquake. I was asleep and woken up to the bed shaking. Maybe it wasn't at the time that I reported because so many people were in bed. If you live there and you happen to know the actual time of this earthquake, let me know. I was in bed trying to sleep when I felt the earthquake. It wasn't very strong, but my bed moved a little. Alright, in the last 10 years, this is the strongest I have felt. The building shook intensely for a few seconds and activated the earthquake alert, on their phone. And it startled me awake. Shaking in bed woke me up. We have never experienced this before while on holiday. So, it is a tourist town, a tourist destination close to there. The shaking woke us up, and we just thought that, what the hell was that? It didn't last long, maybe 10 to 15 seconds. First quake in my lifetime, I woke up because the bed and the house were shaking. Small objects fell from shelves. They probably got broke. Let's see, another one says it was slight for them. We have noticed an earthquake in Almera. The bed shaking and woke us up. So we got some light damage and, what time did it actually happen? There was a loud rumbling and the entire house shook. Yeah, a lot of reports. There's like almost 80 reports here that were sent into EMSE. The bed moved, the chair, the things on top of the table, and it was loud and lasted a long time. Any earthquake does have a 10% chance of being a foreshock for something much larger. having so many earthquakes there in Spain, I hope everyone is prepared for something much larger. And more aftershocks. There's definitely going to be more aftershocks. So are you prepared? For those of you that live there, like I said, you got flooding, so much destruction going on. Please put your comments down below. Thank you very much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. And I'll talk to you later. God bless you. Bye.